The smell of perfume woke her. Wrong perfume, in the wrong place. Rachel Bennett lay helpless in her hospital bed, 32 weeks pregnant, recovering from a car accident that should have killed her. The intensive care unit hummed around her, machines beeping, keeping her alive, keeping her baby alive. But the woman standing at her bedside wasn't a nurse, Mayon. You think because you're pregnant, he'll stay? Vanessa, her husband's assistant. No, more than that, much more than that. He would have left you months ago if you hadn't trapped him. Rachel's heart monitor screamed. The baby's distress alarm blared. What Rachel didn't know yet, what she was about to discover, would shatter everything she thought she knew about her marriage, about her husband, about how close she came to never waking up at all. Because that car accident, it wasn't an accident, and her husband knew. This is the story of a woman who was supposed to disappear, who was supposed to be erased. But instead, she became impossible to ignore. This is Rachel's story. The sound of shattering glass wasn't what woke Rachel. It was the smell of perfume. Strong, expensive, wrong. Rachel floated somewhere between morphine and consciousness. The ICU hummed around her. Machines beeped their steady rhythm. One every second. Reliable. Safe. The fluorescent lights buzzed overhead. Too bright even through closed eyelids. 32 weeks pregnant. 3 days in the ICU, fractured ribs, concussion, baby stable, monitoring required. The doctor said she was lucky. The word felt strange. Nothing about this felt lucky. Her father hadn't left her side. Charles Bennett, 62 years old, built an empire from nothing, lost his wife 10 years ago. Rachel was his only child, his world. He'd been here every moment except when Margaret made him go home to shower. But he wasn't here now. The chair beside her bed sat empty. First time she'd been alone since the accident. The perfume cut through the antiseptic. Sharp, floral, not hospital smell, not nurse smell. Wrong. Rachel tried to open her eyes. They wouldn't cooperate. Heavy, sticky. The morphine pulled her down even as her brain screamed to wake up. A figure moved at her bedside, closer than a nurse would stand. The machines beeped faster, Rachel's heart rate climbing. You think you've won? The voice was familiar but wrong, high-pitched, angry. You think because you're pregnant, he'll stay? Rachel's eyes finally opened, blurry at first, then focusing. The woman at her bedside wore designer clothes, red lipstick, perfectly styled hair, her face twisted with fury. Vanessa, Derek's assistant. No, not just his assistant. The way she was standing, the possessiveness in her voice, the fury in her eyes. The other woman. He doesn't love you. He loves me. He told me. Rachel tried to speak, but her throat was sandpaper. The call button. Where was the call button? Her hands searched the blanket. Tubes and wires tangled around her fingers. He would have left you months ago if you hadn't gotten pregnant on purpose. You trapped him. The words landed like fists. Trapped him. Derek had said those exact words. September 14th, the night she told him about the baby. He'd apologized immediately. Said he was stressed about work. She'd believed him. She always believed him. Vanessa's hand gripped the IV pole, her knuckles white. You had everything. The name, the father with money, the perfect life, and you're so weak you can't even keep your husband interested. Rachel found her voice, barely a whisper. Get out. Or what? You'll tell Derek I visited his poor wife in the hospital? He already knows I'm here. The machine started beeping faster, louder. Rachel's heart rate spiking. The numbers on the monitor climbing. 120, 130, 140. He feels sorry for you, that's all. Obligation. When that baby is born, he'll be gone within a year. Men always leave eventually, but I'll still be there. Vanessa reached toward the bedside table, knocked the water pitcher. It crashed to the floor. Water spread across the tile. The sound echoed in the quiet ICU. Footsteps. Running. Fast. Dr. Helen Garrett burst through the door. She took in the scene instantly. Unknown woman at bedside, patient in distress, alarm screaming. Security, now! Her voice cut like steel. Two security guards appeared within seconds. They moved toward Vanessa. She backed toward the door, slowly, deliberately, like she had all the time in the world. This isn't over. Rachel couldn't answer, couldn't breathe. The truth was expanding in her chest like broken glass. All the pieces she'd refused to see, all the signs she'd ignored, they were cutting her from the inside. Dr. Garrett pressed the emergency call button. More nurses arrived. They surrounded Rachel's bed, checking monitors. Adjusting machines, their voices calm but urgent. Blood pressure 160 over 110. Heart rate 150. Baby's heart rate dropping. 110, 105. I need you to calm down for the baby. Nargarabedy's voice was close to Rachel's ear. Just breathe, in and out. That's all you need to do right now. The baby, Olivia. Rachel had chosen the name weeks ago. Derek said it was fine. He said everything was fine. He lied about everything. Her father's voice filled the hallway. Charles Bennett didn't raise his voice often. He didn't need to, but now his words carried like thunder through the ICU. Someone explained to me how an unauthorized person gained access to my daughter's room. Rachel did what she always did when overwhelmed. She counted. The ceiling tiles, 27, the beeps of the monitor, slower now, coming down. Her heartbeats, still too many, too fast, but better. She counted until the panic receded. Until she could breathe without feeling like she was drowning. Until the morphine pulled her back under. The last thing she heard was her father's voice, close now, at her bedside. Baby girl, I'm here. You're safe now. But she wasn't safe. She knew that now. She'd never been safe. Charles entered the room like a storm contained in an expensive suit. 62 years old, gray hair perfectly styled, lines around his eyes from years of building Bennett properties, from one apartment building to 47 high-rises across 3 states. He'd buried his wife a decade ago. Raised Rachel alone. She was everything to him. Baby girl? His voice broke on the words. He only called her that when he was scared. Dad, I'm okay. You're not okay. Your blood pressure is 160 over 110. The baby's in distress, and someone just assaulted you in the intensive care unit. She didn't touch me. She just... Rachel stopped. What had Vanessa done exactly? Yelled, told the truth. Duh. Told him all, Garrett interrupted. Mr. Bennett, I need to examine Rachel. Privately. I'm not leaving. I'm her doctor. You're leaving. They stared at each other. Two immovable forces. Charles nodded once, stepped into the hallway. The door closed behind him. Dr. Garrett pulled a chair close. She'd been an ICU physician for 20 years. 47 years old. She'd seen everything. Her voice softened, but her eyes stayed sharp. Do you know her? Rachel nodded. How? She works with my husband. The silence spoke volumes. Rachel, I need to ask you something, and I need you to be honest with me. Has your husband been violent with you? What? No, never. Has anyone in your life made you feel unsafe? I'm safe. I mean, I was in a car accident, but that wasn't... Rachel stopped. Wasn't what? Wasn't intentional? The light was green. She was certain the light was green. The woman who was just here, she threatened you. She was upset. She's having an affair with your husband. Not a question, a statement. Hearing it from a stranger made it real. Dr. Garrett didn't know Derek, didn't know Rachel, didn't know their marriage, but she saw the truth in 30 seconds. I think so, yes. How long have you known? I don't know, maybe 3 months, maybe longer. The signs were all there, but I'm pregnant, and I thought after the baby. Her voice broke. I thought things would get better after the baby. Things never get better after the baby. They magnify. Whatever is broken stays broken. Just louder. Garrett handed her tissues. Waited while Rachel cried. Didn't rush her. Didn't tell her it would be okay. Just sat there. Present. Solid. I'm going to be very direct with you. That woman came here to intimidate you. She succeeded. Your blood pressure is dangerous for you and the baby. I'm filing a report. A report? Security report. Possibly police report. She committed assault. She didn't touch me. Assault doesn't require physical contact. Threatening behavior that causes fear of harm, especially toward a vulnerable person in a hospital bed. Rachel, you could have gone into premature labor. The stress alone. The door opened. Charles returned with a man Rachel didn't recognize. Tall, late 40s, quiet. He moved like he was cataloging everything. Every detail. Every person. This is Thomas Caldwell, head of security for Bennett Properties. Former detective. Thomas nodded at Rachel. Mrs. Morrison, I need to ask you some questions about what happened. The next 20 minutes blurred. Thomas took notes in a small black notebook. Dr. Garrett added her observations. Clinical, precise. Charles made phone calls, his voice low and controlled, the voice he used right before destroying someone. Rachel watched it all from the hospital bed, her body here, her mind somewhere else, floating above the scene, observing. The door opened again. Nina burst in. Rachel's best friend since college, 34 years old, graphic designer, still in her work clothes, paint on her fingers, green and blue today. Oh, honey. Nina's voice cracked. She rushed to the bedside, took Rachel's hand, squeezed. Charles called me. She was here. Vanessa was here. I know. How did you know? Nina looked away, looked back, her eyes filled with tears. I've known about her for 6 months. I've been trying to figure out how to tell you, especially with the baby coming. I'm so sorry. I should have told you. The betrayal stacked like layers. Derek, Vanessa, Nina knew. Who else knew? How many people had been keeping secrets? Does everyone know? No, I don't think so. I only found out because I saw them together at that restaurant in the financial district, the one with the rooftop bar, the way he touched her back. Nobody who wasn't sleeping together touches someone like that. Rachel closed her eyes. 6 months. She got pregnant 7 months ago. He was with Vanessa before the baby, during the baby, the whole time. He was with her when we made this baby. Oh, Rachel. I thought I was losing my mind, the distance, the phone always face down, working late, coming home smelling like perfume. I asked him, 3 times I asked him directly. He said I was hormonal. He said pregnancy was making me paranoid. She did what she always did when she felt crazy. She wrote it down. Every suspicion, every excuse Derek gave, every time she second-guessed herself. The notebook was at home in her nightstand, purple, college ruled, filled with her own handwritten proof that she wasn't imagining things. Nina held her tighter. You're not crazy. You were being gaslit. Charles returned. His face told Rachel everything before he spoke. Derek's on his way. He doesn't know about the incident yet. I thought you should decide how to handle this. What do you mean? Do you want to see him? The question hung in the air. The machines beeped. The baby kicked. Strong, angry, like she knew. No, Charles nodded once. I'll tell him. Dad, wait. Rachel's voice was stronger now, clearer. Let him in. We're going to do this now. Everyone turned. Charles frowned. Nina squeezed her hand. Dr. Garrett moved closer to the monitors. Are you sure? Charles asked. I'm sure. I need to see his face. I need to say it while I still have the courage. Derek Morrison arrived at 7 p.m. Rachel heard his voice before she saw him. Smooth, concerned. The voice he used with clients, not the voice he used at home anymore. I came as soon as I could. Meetings ran late. Charles stood at the door, blocking. Did they? Is she awake? Can I see her? She doesn't want to see you. Silence, then Derek's laugh, uncomfortable, confused. I'm sorry, I don't understand. I'm her husband. You're many things. Husband is one of them. Do you want me to list the others? Rachel could hear it all through the partially open door. She should feel something, fear, anger. Instead, she felt nothing. Empty, the shock finally wearing off into numbness. Charles, I don't know what Rachel told you, but she's been under tremendous stress. The pregnancy has been difficult. Hormones, don't. Charles's voice dropped to a register Rachel recognized, the voice he used right before destroying someone in business. Don't you dare blame this on her hormones. I'm not blaming anything on anyone. I'm just saying the accident was traumatic, and maybe she's confused about, Your mistress attacked and harmed her in the ICU 2 hours ago. The silence stretched so long Rachel wondered if Derek left. Then his voice. Different now. Defensive. Vanessa isn't my mistress. Really? Is that the lie we're going with? She's my colleague. If she came here, I'm sure she was just concerned. She threatened my daughter. She caused enough stress that Rachel's blood pressure spiked and put the baby at risk. There's security footage. There are witnesses. Would you like to see it? Rachel heard footsteps. Derek trying to move toward her room, Charles blocking him. Get out of my way. Or what? You'll do what? Exactly. She's my wife. And that's supposed to mean something coming from you? Dr. Garrett emerged from the nurse's station. Gentlemen, this is an intensive care unit. Lower your voices or leave. Derek saw his opportunity. Tried to go around Charles. Nina stepped out of Rachel's room, positioned herself in the doorway. She said no, Derek. He stopped, stared at Nina like he was seeing her for the first time. This doesn't concern you. Everything about Rachel concerns me. I'm the one who's been here every day. Where have you been? Working, providing for my family. That what you call it? Rachel made herself sit up, pressed the button to raise the bed. She could see them now through the doorway. Derek in his $1,000 suit, her father in his $15,000 suit, Nina in paint-stained jeans, Dr. Garrett with her arms crossed. Let him in. Everyone turned. Charles frowned. Rachel, let him in. We're going to do this now. Derek entered slowly, like approaching a wild animal, his face arranged in concern, the face she fell in love with 7 years ago. 36 years old, dark hair, blue eyes, handsome in a way that made people trust him. He'd been different then. Or maybe he wasn't. Maybe she was. Baby, I'm so sorry. When I heard about the accident, I got here as fast as I could. You got here 3 hours after the accident. I was in a meeting upstate, no cell service. Right, upstate, with Vanessa. His face didn't change, not a flinch, not a tell. He was good at this. She wondered how long he'd been good at this. Vanessa is, stop, just stop. Rachel's voice sounded different to her own ears, flat, done. I don't want to hear whatever you're about to say. I don't want explanations or excuses. I want you to leave. Rachel, you're upset. The accident is the only reason I'm seeing things clearly. Do you know what happens when you lie in an ICU bed for 3 days? You think, you remember. You add up all the things that didn't make sense, and they start making perfect sense. Derek glanced at Charles, at Nina. Can we talk privately? No, they stay. He sat in the chair next to her bed, reached for her hand. She pulled it away. How long? What? How long have you been sleeping with her? The machines beeped. The fluorescent lights hummed. Somewhere down the hall, another patient's family laughed about something. Normal life continuing while hers imploded. I'm not sleeping with her. Derek. We're friends, close friends. Maybe it had crossed some lines, but nothing physical. She came here today, to my hospital room. While I was recovering from a car accident, while I'm pregnant with your daughter, and she told me you love her. His face finally changed. She said that? She said you told her you only stayed with me because I got pregnant on purpose, that you feel obligated. I never said that. You said exactly that. September 14th, the night I told you about the baby, you said I trapped you. You apologized later, but you said it. He closed his eyes. I was stressed. The company was going through, I don't care, I genuinely don't care anymore. The hardest part isn't that you cheated. The hardest part is that I knew. And I pretended I didn't. Because I was pregnant. Because I was scared. Because I thought I could save us after the baby was born. But you can't save something that was already dead. Derek's voice hardened. Fine. You want the truth? Yes, I've been seeing Vanessa for 8 months, but nothing happened while you were pregnant. 8 months, so before I got pregnant. It didn't mean anything at first. It was just, I don't care what it meant. I want you to leave. Rachel, leave this room, leave this hospital. I'll have my lawyer contact yours about the divorce. The word dropped like a bomb. Derek went pale. Divorce? You're not serious. You're emotional right now. The hormones, the accident. Charles spoke from the doorway. She told you to leave. This is between me and my wife. Your wife just told you she wants a divorce. There's nothing left between you. Derek stood, looked at Rachel like he was trying to find something. The woman he married, maybe. She wasn't there anymore. You'll regret this. I already do. I regret the last 2 years, maybe longer. I regret ignoring my instincts. I regret believing your lies, but I won't regret this. He left. The silence he left behind felt heavy, suffocating. Nina sat on the bed, took Rachel's hand. You did the right thing. Then why do I feel like I'm dying? Because you are. The old version of you is dying, the one who made herself small, the one who ignored the truth. She's dying, and it's going to hurt for a while. But someone better is being born. Rachel's hand went to her belly. The baby kicked, strong, insistent. Someone better is being born. Charles approached the bed, his eyes wet. I'm proud of you. Don't be proud yet. I'm about to fall apart. Then fall apart. We'll catch you. Thomas Caldwell entered with a tablet. Mr. Bennett, you need to see this. He turned the screen. Security footage from the hospital parking garage. Timestamp, 3 days ago, the day of Rachel's accident. The video showed Rachel's car entering the garage. Then Derek's car. Behind Derek's car, a red BMW. Vanessa's car. The angle changed, showed Rachel walking to her car. Derek and Vanessa standing by his car, talking. Vanessa gesturing angrily. Derek trying to calm her. Rachel got in her car, started backing out. Vanessa got in her car, followed Rachel's car out of the garage. Charles's voice went ice cold. Tell me that doesn't show what I think it shows. Thomas's expression didn't change. I've already called the police. They'll want to examine Rachel's car more thoroughly. The accident report said she ran a red light. Her car is totaled, but the dash cam might have survived. Rachel couldn't breathe. You think Vanessa caused the accident? I think it's a hell of a coincidence that she followed you out of the garage and 12 minutes later you were hit by a car that ran a red light. Witnesses couldn't identify the vehicle. It didn't stop. Hit and run. Charles's hands were shaking. Someone tried to kill my daughter. 2 police detectives arrived at 9 p.m. Rachel told her story 4 times. The accident, Vanessa's visit, Derek's affair, the parking garage footage. Detective Sarah Morrison, no relation to Derek, she made that clear immediately, took detailed notes. Her partner, Detective Ray Foster, watched Rachel's face while she talked, looking for tells, for lies, for truth. Mrs. Morrison, I need to ask you something difficult. Is it possible your husband knew about Vanessa Pierce's intentions? Rachel's brain refused to process the question. What do you mean? Is it possible he knew she might try to harm you? You think Derek... She couldn't finish the sentence. Detective Morrison glanced at her partner. We're not making any accusations. We're gathering information. Derek wouldn't. He's having an affair, but he wouldn't... She stopped. Wouldn't what? Wouldn't let his mistress hurt her? 2 weeks ago, she would have sworn he wouldn't cheat. We'll need to interview Mr. Morrison and Miss Pierce. With your permission, we'd like to place an officer outside your room until we complete our investigation. Charles answered before Rachel could. Yes, and I'm hiring private security as well. After the detectives left, Rachel sat in the dark. Nina went home to feed her cat. Charles was in the waiting room making phone calls. The machines beeped their steady rhythm. Her phone buzzed. Text from Derek. We need to talk. Please, give me a chance to explain everything. She blocked his number. Another text. Unknown number. I'm sorry about today. I was upset. Derek told me you two were separated. I didn't know you were still together. Can we talk? Woman to woman? Rachel stared at the message. Woman to woman. Like they were equals. Like Vanessa didn't attack her in a hospital bed. She screenshots the text, sent it to Detective Morrison, then blocked that number too. Derek told her they were separated for 8 months while I was pregnant, while I was planning our daughter's nursery. He was building a whole separate life. The door opened. Margaret Walsh entered with an overnight bag. Charles's executive assistant, 68 years old, worked for him for 35 years. She was at Rachel's college graduation, her wedding. She brought soup when Rachel had the flu. Your father thought you might want your own things. I stopped by your house. How did you get in? I have a key. You gave me one last Christmas, remember? For emergencies. Margaret sat on the edge of the bed. I also packed some of Derek's things. Enough for a week. Your father's lawyer is filing a restraining order tomorrow morning. Derek won't be able to return to the house. That's where I live. It's where you both live. The house is in your name. Your father bought it for you as a wedding gift. Derek has no legal claim to it. Rachel didn't know this. How did she not know this? I never looked at the deed. Derek made sure of that, I suspect. Margaret's voice was gentle but firm. Men like him need control. Making you feel powerless is part of it. I'm not powerless. I know, but you forgot for a while. You are remembering now. Margaret pulled items from the bag. Rachel's own pajamas, her favorite blanket, the purple notebook from her nightstand. I saw this, thought you might want it. Rachel took the notebook, flipped through pages of her own handwriting. Dates, whims, Derek's excuses, her doubts, the record of her own slow unraveling. I wrote everything down, like a crazy person. Like a smart person, documentation. Your lawyer will want this. I don't have a lawyer. You do now. Susan Mitchell, Thomas's sister, she specializes in high-asset divorces. Margaret smiled slightly. And in destroying men who underestimate women. Rachel did what she always did when the world tilted sideways. She made lists. Things to do, things to figure out, things to survive. She wrote in the notebook. 1. Divorce lawyer appointment. 2. Change locks on house. 3. Separate bank accounts. Call OB about stress effects on baby. Stop believing anything Derek says. Figure out how to be a single mother. Breath Margaret reviewed over her shoulder, and number 7 should be number 1. I don't know how to breathe through this. Yes, you do. You're breathing right now. They sat in silence. The monitors beeped. The hospital continued around them. Someone laughed in the hallway. Life didn't stop just because yours was ending. Rachel's hand found her belly. The baby kicked. Margaret's hand covered hers. She's strong. She has to be. Her father is a liar and her mother is a disaster. Her mother is a survivor. Big difference. Charles returned with coffee, set it on the table without a word, sat in the chair by the window. He looked older than he did this morning, tired, furious. I built that boy's career. I gave him everything, a position, a future, my daughter, and this is... He stopped, breathed. I'm going to destroy him. Dad, I don't want you to talk me out of it. He needs to understand what he's done. What are you going to do? Nothing illegal, nothing that will come back on you or the baby, but he's going to wish he'd thought twice before betraying a Bennett. Margaret stood. I should go. Charles, you need to sleep. I'm not leaving. I didn't say leave, I said sleep. The chair reclines. Rachel, if you need anything... I know, thank you, Margaret. After she left, Charles dimmed the lights, settled into the recliner. Within minutes, he was snoring softly. Rachel lay awake, her body exhausted, her mind racing. Tomorrow the police would investigate. Tomorrow Susan Mitchell would call. Tomorrow Derek would realize he'd lost everything. Tomorrow her old life officially ended. Her phone buzzed again. This time it's Nina. Saw the news. Some reporter posted about a hit-and-run investigation reopening. Your dad works fast. Rachel hadn't thought about the press. Of course there would be press. Charles Bennett's daughter. Attempted murder. Affair. This would be everywhere. Another text from Nina. Don't read the comments. Whatever you do, don't read the comments. Too late. Rachel was already searching. The story was on every local news site. Pregnant wife of Bennett Properties executive in ICU after hit and run, Mistress questioned. The comments were exactly what she expected. She probably drove poorly because of pregnancy brain. Gold digger married rich, surprised when he cheated. Both women are to blame for entertaining this man. If she was a better wife, he wouldn't have strayed. And worse. So much worse. Rachel closed the browser, closed her eyes. Everyone will have an opinion. Everyone will think they know what I should have done differently. None of them were there. None of them felt what I felt. None of them matter. The baby kicked hard enough to make her gasp. Olivia, fighting, angry, alive. You and me, baby girl, we're going to be okay. She didn't believe it yet, but she said it anyway. Practice for believing. Rachel was released from the ICU on day 5. Moved to a regular maternity floor for monitoring. She could walk now. Slowly. Her ribs still screamed with every breath. The police had questions. So many questions. Detective Morrison returned with news. They recovered Rachel's dash cam. The footage was grainy but usable. It showed Rachel stopping at a red light, the light turning green, Rachel proceeding through the intersection. Then impact from the passenger side. The vehicle that hit her ran the light. Silver sedan, partial plate visible. The registered owner, Vanessa Pierce. Rachel sat in the hospital bed, processing. She tried to kill me. We're building that case, yes, the dash cam footage. The parking garage surveillance, her showing up at the hospital. It establishes pattern and intent. But you haven't arrested her yet. Detective Foster shifted uncomfortably. Miss Pierce has a lawyer, a good one. She's claiming the car was stolen that day. Filed a police report 2 hours after your accident. Convenient. Very. We're investigating whether the report is fraudulent, and if it is, she's facing felony charges beyond the assault and attempted murder. Insurance fraud, filing false reports. It adds up. And Derek? The detectives exchanged glances. Detective Morrison leaned forward. Mr. Morrison has lawyered up as well. He's not talking to us. But we did get his phone records. He called Miss Pierce 17 times the day of your accident, including twice from the hospital parking garage before you arrived. Rachel's stomach dropped. He knew I was coming to the hospital that day. For my checkup? Yes. And he was there, in the parking garage, with her. According to the footage, they argued. She seemed angry. He seemed like he was trying to calm her down. Then you arrived. So he didn't tell her to do it, but he might have told her I'd be there. That's our working theory. We're trying to establish if there was any conversation about harming you. Texts, emails, recorded calls, anything. Detective Foster added, we're also looking at financial records, life insurance policies, debts, motive. Derek doesn't need money. My father pays him extremely well. But he might need freedom. Divorce would be expensive. You'd get the house. Child support. Alimony. Your father would cut him off professionally. But if you died, he stopped. I'm sorry, this is difficult. If I died, he inherits everything. The house, the trust fund, and no child support because the baby would have died too. The words tasted like poison. We're not saying that's what happened. We're saying it's what we're investigating. After they left, Rachel sat alone, the truth settling into her bones like radiation. Derek didn't just cheat. He might have planned her murder. Susan Mitchell arrived at 2 p.m., 42 years old. Sharp, expensive suit, carried herself like someone who wins. I've reviewed your case. We need to move quickly. How quickly? Restraining order is filed. Derek can't come within 500 feet of you or the house. I'm also filing an emergency motion to freeze all joint assets. Is that necessary? Absolutely. Men like Derek, when they realize they're losing, they drain accounts, max out credit cards, sell assets. We're preventing that. Susan set papers on the rolling table. I need you to sign these. They begin the divorce proceedings. We're citing adultery, emotional abuse, and abandonment. Abandonment? He wasn't here when you were in the ICU. He was with his mistress. In New York, that's abandonment. Rachel signed. Her hand shook, but her signature was clear. What about Olivia? Custody? We're asking for full physical and legal custody with supervised visitation only. Given the investigation into the hit and run and his relationship with someone who assaulted you, the court will likely grant it. He's her father. He's under investigation for conspiracy to commit murder. Let me handle him. You focus on staying healthy and keeping that baby safe. Fury flooded Rachel's body, hot, cleansing. She'd been so focused on the hurt, the betrayal, the humiliation. But now rage took over. I want everything, the house, full custody, alimony. I want him to lose his job. I want him destroyed. Susan smiled, not kindly. Now we're talking. Your father and I are already working on the professional destruction. But legally, let's be strategic. We want enough to hurt him, not so much that it looks punitive. Judges don't like vindictive ex-wives. Even when their ex-husbands tried to kill them, especially then. We need you to be the victim who rose above, the dignified woman who just wants what's fair. Can you do that? Rachel thought about Vanessa in her hospital room, about Derek's lies, about the dash cam footage, about her daughter growing inside her. Innocent of all this damage. I can be whatever I need to be. Good, because Derek's lawyer is already spinning this. They're going to paint you as an unstable, paranoid wife having a breakdown. The pregnancy, the accident, your father's influence. They'll say you're being manipulated. By my own father? Rich men control their daughters. That's their narrative. We need to counter it with the truth. You're a grown woman who found evidence of an affair, who survived an attempt on her life, who's protecting her child. That's our story. Over the next 2 hours, Susan outlined the strategy. File for divorce, freeze assets, secure custody, build the case for attempted murder, separate everything in Rachel's life from Derek's. It's going to get ugly. He's going to fight, especially if the police charge him with anything. Men like him don't go quietly. Let him fight. I'm done being quiet. Charles arrived as Susan was leaving. He looked grim. Derek's been fired. What? Effective immediately. Terminated for cause. Violation of company ethics policy. Specifically the clause about personal conduct that reflects poorly on Bennett properties. You can do that? I can do anything I want. It's my company. His lawyer is already screaming wrongful termination. Let him scream. I have documentation of his affair with a subordinate employee. Vanessa worked under him. That's a power differential. Sexual harassment liability. No court will rule in his favor. What about Vanessa? Also fired. I wanted to wait until the police investigation concludes, but my board insisted. We can't have someone under investigation for attempted murder on our payroll. Rachel should feel victorious. Instead, she felt numb. This is going to destroy him. Yes. Good. Charles sat beside her, took her hand. I need you to understand something. This isn't revenge. This is protection. Derek has already shown he's willing to hurt you. We're making sure he can't do it again. By ruining his life? By giving him consequences. There's a difference, or difference. Rachel did what she always did when she needed to remember who she is. She called her mother. Except her mother died 10 years ago, so she talked to her anyway, in her head. Where all the important conversations happen. Mom, I don't know how to do this. Yes, you do. You've always known. You just forgot for a while. I'm scared. Good. Fear means you're paying attention. Use it. He might have tried to kill me. Might have? Baby, he absolutely did. The question is what you do about it. What would you do? I'd burn his world down and plant flowers in the ashes. But I was always more dramatic than you. Rachel laughed, then cried. Charles pretended not to notice. That night, alone again, Rachel searched Derek's name. The news was everywhere. Bennett Properties executive fired amid affair scandal. Pregnant wife's hit-and-run investigation expands to include husband. Billionaire father destroys son-in-law's career after daughter's attack. The comments were different now. Good. Men who cheat deserve to lose everything. I hope they throw him in prison. The father is a hero. Finally, consequences for these trash men. And still the victim blaming, she must have known and stayed for the money. She got pregnant to trap him. Karma. Rich people problems. Rachel closed the browser, learned her lesson this time. Other people's opinions were heavy. She couldn't carry them. Dr. Garrett checked on her before shift change. How are you feeling, physically? Tired, sore, angry. The anger is healthy. Use it to heal, not to hurt yourself. How do I do that? You turn it into boundaries, into standards, into a promise to yourself that you won't accept less than you deserve ever again. What if I don't know what I deserve? You're figuring it out day by day, decision by decision. You chose to leave him. That's a good start. After Dr. Garrett left, Rachel made another list. Things I deserve. 1. A partner who doesn't lie. A home that feels safe. A daughter who grows up knowing her worth. 4. A life that isn't filled with secrets. To trust my instincts. To be believed when I say something is wrong. To take up space without apologizing. To be enough exactly as I am. She stared at the last one, crossed it out, wrote it again. To be enough exactly as I am. I am enough exactly as I am. She said it out loud, tested how it sounded. Foreign, wrong, like wearing someone else's clothes. She said it again. I am enough exactly as I am. Again, I am enough, until it started to feel less like a lie. Rachel went home on day 7. The house felt different, empty, too big, echoing. Margaret arranged for a cleaning service, fresh flowers in every room. The nursery finished. Olivia's name in wooden letters above the crib. Everything perfect, everything wrong. Derek's things were gone. His side of the closet empty, his office stripped, like he never existed. Except he did exist. For 7 years he existed. And now he was a ghost in her own house. Rachel walked room to room, trying to feel something. Relief? Victory? Freedom? She felt nothing. Nina stayed the first 3 nights, brought Thai food, didn't ask questions, just existed in the space. Present, solid. You don't have to stay. I know, I want to. Why? Nina considered the question. Because when my mom died, people left me alone to grieve. They thought I needed space. But space is just another word for isolation. I needed someone to sit with me in the dark. So I'm sitting with you. I'm not grieving. Yes, you are. You're grieving the marriage you thought you had, the future you planned, the person you thought Derek was. That's all real loss. Rachel's eyes filled. She cried so much lately, constantly, her body leaking grief like a wound. I hate crying. Crying is just your body releasing pain. Let it out. They sat on the couch, Rachel's head on Nina's shoulder, the baby kicking between them. She never stops moving now. She knows something's wrong. Babies sense stress. Great, I'm traumatizing her before she's even born. You're surviving. That's different. She'll remember this strength later. At 2 a.m., Rachel sat in the nursery. Lights off. Street lamp glow through the window. Everything ready for a baby whose father might have tried to kill them both. I can't do this alone. Single mothers do it every day, but I can't. I'm not strong enough. I'm not brave enough. I'm barely holding together. The baby kicked hard, painful, insistent. I know you're there. I know you're counting on me, but I'm terrified I'm going to fail you before you even arrive. She put both hands on her belly, the hardness, the life. Your father doesn't love me. Maybe he never did. And I stayed. I stayed because I was scared and comfortable and convinced myself it was enough. I taught you that was normal. That was acceptable. And I'm so sorry. The kicking stopped, then started again, gentler, like a response. But I'm trying to be better, to do better, for both of us. The doorbell rang. 2:30 a.m., Rachel froze. Footsteps, Nina going to check, voices. Then Nina appeared in the nursery doorway. It's the police, they have news. Detective Morrison and Foster stood in the living room. Their faces told Rachel everything before they spoke. We arrested Vanessa Pierce an hour ago. Rachel sat, her legs wouldn't hold her. For what? Attempted murder, vehicular assault, filing false reports. The stolen car report was fraudulent. We have witnesses who saw her driving that day. Her phone GPS puts her at the scene of your accident. And we found something else. Detective Foster pulled out his tablet, showed Rachel text messages. Vanessa to Derek. She's ruining everything. I can't do this anymore. Derek to Vanessa. I'll handle it. Just give me time. Vanessa to Derek. A time? I've given you months. When are you going to leave her? Derek to Vanessa. After the baby. It's complicated right now. Vanessa to Derek. It doesn't have to be complicated. The timestamp 3 days before the accident. More messages. Vanessa to Derek. What if she just wasn't a problem anymore? Derek to Vanessa. Don't talk like that. Vanessa to Derek. And I'm serious. What if? Derek to Vanessa. This conversation never happened. Vanessa to Derek. That's not a no. Rachel couldn't breathe. He knew. We believe so, yes. We're not charging him with conspiracy yet. But these messages establish that he knew Miss Pierce had violent intentions and did nothing to prevent them. He also failed to warn you. He wanted me dead. We can't prove that definitively. What we can prove is that he knew you were in danger and he let it happen. That's criminal negligence at minimum. Conspiracy at worst. Are you arresting him? Tomorrow. We wanted to tell you first. After they left, Rachel sat in the dark, Nina beside her. He wanted me dead. Yes. For 8 months. Maybe longer. He wanted me gone. Yes. I thought I was losing my mind. I thought I was paranoid and hormonal and crazy, but I was right. My instincts were right. He was dangerous. I knew. Somewhere deep down, I knew. That's why I wrote everything in the notebook. That's why I kept asking questions. That's why I was scared. My body knew before my mind could accept it. Nina held her tighter. You trusted yourself. That's what matters. I stayed too long. You left when you could. That's what matters. I almost died. But you didn't. You're here. You're safe. That's what matters. Rachel's hands wouldn't stop shaking. The adrenaline, the shock, the absolute terror of understanding how close she came. I need to see him. Derek? Yes, before they arrest him. I need to look him in the face and hear him explain this. Rachel, I need closure or revenge or something. I need to see him. Susan Mitchell said it was a terrible idea. Charles forbid it. Nina begged her to reconsider. Rachel called Derek anyway. He answered on the first ring. Rachel, God, I've been trying to reach you. We need to talk, in person. Silence. I don't think that's a good idea. The restraining order. I'll meet you somewhere public, coffee shop, neutral ground. Why? Because I need to understand. I need to hear it from you. More silence. Then, tomorrow, 10 a.m. the coffee shop where we had our first date. Of course, the coffee shop, where he told her she was beautiful, where he said he'd never felt this way before, where she believed every word. I'll be there. She hung up, immediately regretted it, then didn't regret it. Nina watched her. You're really doing this? I have to. Why, what will it change? Nothing, everything. I don't know, but I need to look him in the face knowing what I know now. I need him to see that I survived him. Rachel did what she always did before difficult conversations. She rehearsed, out loud, in the mirror, every possible thing Derek might say, every response, every boundary. I'm sorry. Sorry doesn't matter anymore. I never meant to hurt you. Intent isn't the same as impact. Vanessa acted alone. The texts say otherwise. I still love you. Love doesn't look like this. Can we start over? No, never. Not in any universe. She practiced until the words felt solid, until her voice didn't shake, until she could say them without crying. Then she cried anyway, because she wasn't made of stone, because this was the man she loved, because somewhere in the wreckage of their marriage was the ghost of who they used to be, or who she thought they were. She slept fitfully, dreamed of the accident, the impact, the sound of metal on metal, Vanessa's face in her hospital room, Derek's voice saying it didn't mean anything. She woke at 6 a.m., dressed carefully, black dress, her mother's pearls, armor disguised as elegance. Charles insisted on coming. You're not going alone. I need to do this by myself. Then I'll wait outside, but I'm coming. Nina drove, sat in the car. I'll be right here. If you need me, text. I'll come in. The coffee shop looked exactly the same. 7 years later, same green awning, same chalkboard menu, same smell of espresso and cinnamon. Derek sat in the back corner, their table, where he proposed, where they had their first anniversary, where they came every Sunday before things went wrong. He stood when she entered, looked thinner, older. His suit expensive but rumpled. He hadn't slept. Rachel, she sat across from him, didn't speak. Thank you for meeting me. I know you didn't have to. The police are arresting you tomorrow. His face drained of color. What? They have the texts between you and Vanessa about me being a problem, about making me go away. I never... He stopped, closed his eyes. I never told her to hurt you. But you knew she wanted to. I thought she was just venting. People say things they don't mean. She ran me off the road, Derek, while I was pregnant with your daughter. And you knew she was capable of it, and you said nothing. I didn't think she'd actually... His voice broke. I swear I didn't think she'd do it. He's lying. He knew. He absolutely knew. The texts prove it. Rachel leaned forward. Did you want me dead? What? No. Did you take out life insurance on me? His face answered before his mouth did. $500,000. 6 months ago, right after I told you I was pregnant. Rachel's world tilted. You were planning this. No, I was being responsible. The baby, the mortgage, you were planning my death. You're being paranoid. Don't. Her voice cut like glass. Don't you dare call me paranoid, not after everything. I was right about all of it. The affair, Vanessa, the danger. I was right, and you made me feel crazy for trusting my own instincts. Derek reached across the table. She pulled back. I made mistakes, I know that, but I never wanted you dead. You have to believe me. I don't have to believe anything you say ever again. Rachel, please, we can fix this. We can go to counseling. She laughed, harsh, broken. Counseling? You think counseling fixes attempted murder? Vanessa acted alone. I had nothing to do with... You had everything to do with it. You created her. You lied to her about us being separated. You let her believe she had a future with you. You wound her up and pointed her at me. That's not fair. Fair? You want to talk about fair? Rachel stood. The whole coffee shop went quiet. She didn't care. I almost died. Our daughter almost died because you were too selfish and cowardly to just file for divorce like a normal person. Keep your voice down. Why? Worried about your reputation? Too late. It's already destroyed. The whole city knows what you are. Derek stood too. What I am, what about what you are? Spoiled. Entitled. Using your father's money to ruin my life. Your life. She moved closer. Not afraid anymore. Done being afraid. You ruined your own life the moment you chose to lie, to cheat, to put me in danger. That was all you. I loved you. No, you loved what I represented. The daughter of Charles Bennett, the access, the money, the status. You never loved me. You loved what I could do for you. His face hardened, the mask finally dropping. And what could you do, Rachel? Organize charity galas? Spend my money? You never worked, never contributed. You were just what? Say it. You were just there, decoration. A wife because I was supposed to have one. There it is, the truth. After 7 years, he finally said what he really thought. Rachel felt something shift inside her. Not breaking, settling. The last piece of grief clicking into place. Thank you. What? Thank you for finally being honest. It makes leaving so much easier. She turned to walk away. He grabbed her arm. We're not done. Yes, we are. I'm her father. You can't keep me from my daughter. Rachel looked at his hand on her arm, looked at his face. Take your hand off me. He didn't. His grip tightened. The coffee shop door opened. Charles entered, took in the scene instantly. Remove your hand from my daughter. Derek dropped her arm, backed up. This is a private conversation. There are no private conversations anymore. Everything you say, everything you do will be used against you. Starting now, this is witness intimidation. Assault. I'm calling the police. Derek's face went white. She came here willingly. And she's leaving now. You're going to sit down, finish your coffee, and think about all the choices that brought you here. Then tomorrow you're going to put on your best suit and turn yourself in. Because if you run, I will find you. And what the legal system does to you will be gentle compared to what I'll do. Rachel walked out. Didn't look back. Nina was out of the car immediately. Are you okay? He grabbed me in front of everyone. He's that desperate. Charles emerged, already on the phone. I need police at this location. Violation of restraining order. Yes, I'll hold. They drove home in silence. Rachel's arm tingled where Derek grabbed her. Not from pain, from rage. He put his hands on her. Again. After everything. At home, she took photos of the red marks on her arm, documented everything, sent it to Susan Mitchell. The lawyer called immediately. This is perfect. I mean, I'm sorry he touched you, but this seals custody. No judge will grant him unsupervised visits after this. Good. Are you okay? Really? No, but I will be. That night, Rachel sat in the nursery again, this time with purpose. She wasn't grieving anymore. She was planning. Lists upon lists. Before baby arrives. Finalize divorce papers. Testify at Vanessa's trial if needed. Set up trust fund for Olivia. Change all passwords and accounts. Install new security system. Find a nanny help for first months. Register for parenting classes. Update will and medical directives. After baby arrives. Survive the first year. Therapy for myself. Build new routines. Remember I'm enough. Teach Olivia her worth. Live a life worth fighting for. She taped the list to the nursery wall. Visible. Concrete. Proof that she had a plan beyond survival. The baby kicked, hard, angry, strong. I know it's a lot, but we're going to make it, somehow. Nina found her there an hour later. You need to sleep. I can't sleep. My brain won't stop. Then talk. Tell me what you're thinking. Rachel looked at her friend, her only constant in the chaos. I'm thinking I wasted 7 years. I'm thinking my daughter will grow up without a father. I'm thinking I'm about to be a single mother at 33 with a destroyed marriage and a criminal trial and everyone watching and judging. And I'm thinking, her voice broke, I'm thinking I'm going to be okay anyway. Not today, not tomorrow, but someday. I'm going to look back at all this and understand why it had to happen. You are, I promise you are. How do you know? Because I know you. You don't quit. You never quit. They sat in the nursery until dawn, not talking, just existing together. The baby moving between them, the city waking outside. A new day starting whether Rachel was ready or not. She wasn't ready, but she was here. And sometimes that was enough. Derek was arrested at 6 a.m. Rachel didn't watch the news. Didn't need to. Margaret texted her a single message. It's done. Vanessa's trial date was set for 3 months away. Rachel would have given birth by then. The lawyer said that might work in their favor. Jury sympathy for a new mother. Rachel hated that her trauma was being strategized, but she understood the game. Justice wasn't about truth. It was about convincing 12 strangers. Susan Mitchell filed for emergency custody hearing. The evidence was overwhelming. The text, the life insurance, the restraining order violation. Derek's lawyer argued for joint custody. The judge laughed. Actually laughed. Mr. Morrison is under investigation for conspiracy to commit murder against his pregnant wife. I'm granting temporary full custody to Mrs. Morrison. Mr. Morrison will have supervised visitation rights, 1 hour per week in a facility with a court-appointed supervisor present. Derek's face crumbled. Rachel felt nothing. The first supervised visit was scheduled for 2 weeks away. Rachel was 35 weeks pregnant, exhausted, enormous, done. She met Charles for lunch at his office, the top floor of Bennett Tower, 40 stories of glass and steel, her father's kingdom. How are you feeling? Like a whale, an angry whale. He smiled, first genuine smile she'd seen from him in weeks. Your mother was the same way. The last month she couldn't get comfortable, couldn't sleep, couldn't stop eating pickles. I don't like pickles. You will. Give it time. They ate in comfortable silence. The city spread below them. Rachel thought about Derek down there somewhere, fired, arrested, waiting for trial. Do you hate him? Charles considered the question. I hate what he did. what he put you through. But hate requires energy I don't want to give him. He's irrelevant now. I wish I felt that way. You will. It takes time. First, you have to stop loving him. Then you have to stop hating him. Then he just becomes a person you used to know. How long did it take you with Mom? Different. She died. I never stopped loving him, but I had to stop being angry that she left. That took years. Rachel's hand went to her belly. Olivia kicked. Strong. Constant. I'm terrified I'm going to mess her up. You will. All parents do. The goal isn't perfection. It's presence. Show up. Be honest. Love her even when she's difficult. That's it. That's it? That's everything. Rachel did what she always did when feeling powerless. She took control of one small thing, asked Margaret to order Olivia's clothes, hung them in the nursery by color, rainbow spectrum, perfect order from chaos. That night, Rachel's first therapy session. Dr. Amanda Winters, recommended by Dr. Garrett, specializes in trauma and pregnancy. Tell me about the accident. Rachel recounted it, the whole story, the affair, the attack, the text, the arrest, all of it. Dr. Winters listened, didn't interrupt. When Rachel finished, she asked one question. What do you need to forgive yourself for? What? You keep saying you should have known, should have left sooner, should have protected yourself better. What do you need to forgive yourself for? Rachel started crying, couldn't stop. For staying, for ignoring the signs, for being so desperate to make it work that I put myself in danger, for putting Olivia in danger. You survived. Both of you survived. That's not failure, that's victory. It doesn't feel like victory. Not yet, but it will. Rachel left the session exhausted, wrung out. But something had shifted, slightly, imperceptibly, like the first crack in ice before spring. The next week, Vanessa's lawyer contacted Susan Mitchell. They wanted a plea deal. In exchange for testimony against Derek, reduced sentence. She's willing to testify that he explicitly asked her to harm you, that he promised they'd be together after you were gone, that he gave her your schedule. Rachel sat in Susan's office, processing, is it true? I don't know, but juries love co-conspirator testimony. If she testifies, Derek goes to prison for years. And if she doesn't, he might walk. Criminal negligence is hard to prove without direct evidence. What do you think I should do? Susan leaned back. I think you should do whatever lets you sleep at night. This isn't about revenge. It's about safety. If Derek walks, he has parental rights. He can fight for custody. He can make your life hell for 18 years. Rachel looked out the window, the city below. Somewhere down there, Vanessa sat in jail. Derek sat in his lawyer's office. Both of them destroyed by their own choices. Tell them yes, she can testify. You're sure? I don't have to forgive him to heal. Forgiveness isn't required for moving forward. I just need to stop letting him live rent-free in my head. Charles threw Rachel a baby shower, small, intimate. Nina, Margaret, Dr. Garrett, a few college friends, no one from Derek's side of the family. They chose him. The gifts were practical. Diapers, wipes, bottles, a breast pump. Things Rachel didn't know she needed. Things mothers tell each other. You'll need witch hazel pads. Trust me. Get the nipple cream now before the hospital. Sleep when the baby sleeps is terrible advice. Do laundry when the baby sleeps. Rachel absorbed it all. The wisdom, the humor, the solidarity. These women had been where she was going. They survived. She would too. That night, Rachel walked through the house, really looked at it for the first time since coming home. It was hers, completely hers. No Derek, no lies, no fear. She stood in the living room, the room where he proposed, where they opened Christmas presents, where she told him she was pregnant. All those memories, real and false, tangled together. She moved to the nursery. This room had no memories of him. He never came in here, never helped paint, never assembled furniture. This room was hers and Olivia's alone. She started painting. 2 a.m. couldn't sleep anyway. A mural on the wall above the crib. Mountains, sky, stars. A little girl climbing, reaching, strong. Nina found her at 4 a.m. What are you doing? Painting our future. Nina picked up a brush. They painted until dawn, the mural growing, transforming. By the time the sun rose, it was done. A little girl on a mountain, arms raised, victorious. She's going to love this. She's going to know she can climb anything. Vanessa's trial began on a Tuesday. Rachel was 37 weeks pregnant. Dr. Garrett cleared her to attend, with conditions, lots of water, frequent breaks, leave immediately if contractions start. The courtroom was packed. Press, spectators, Derek in the back row. He stared at Rachel's belly, his daughter, the child he'd never held. Rachel didn't acknowledge him. The prosecutor was efficient, brutal. She laid out the case methodically. The affair, the texts, the parking garage footage, the dash cam, the hospital attack, the fraudulent police report. Then she called Rachel to testify. Rachel walked to the witness stand, swore to tell the truth, the whole truth. She did. For 90 minutes, she recounted every detail. The affair she suspected, the gaslighting, the accident, waking up to Vanessa at her bedside, the threats, the fear for her unborn child. The prosecutor showed the dash cam footage. The courtroom watched in silence as Rachel's car was hit, as it spun and as it crashed. Rachel watched too, saw her own death in third person, the moment Vanessa tried to erase her. How did it feel, Mrs. Morrison, knowing someone tried to kill you while you were pregnant? Rachel looked at Vanessa, really looked at her, the other woman, the mistress, the woman who wanted her gone. It felt like waking up. I'd been asleep for years, making excuse, ignoring my instincts. That accident shattered more than my ribs. It shattered every illusion I'd been living with. Did you ever think your husband was involved? Yes. And when did you start to suspect? When I saw the texts, when I learned about the life insurance, when I realized he knew I was in danger and said nothing. He didn't pull the trigger, but he loaded the gun. Derek's lawyer objected. The judge overruled. The defense tried to paint Rachel as vindictive, rich, spoiled, a woman scorned using her father's money for revenge. Rachel didn't take the bait. I'm not vengeful. I'm a mother protecting her child. There's a difference. The defense called character witnesses, people who said Vanessa was kind, driven, ambitious, not a killer. The prosecutor destroyed them on cross-examination. Then Vanessa took the stand. She was different, smaller. Prison had diminished her. Or maybe she was always this small and Rachel couldn't see it. Vanessa testified about the affair, about falling in love with Derek, about him promising to leave Rachel, about getting impatient. He said she was the only thing standing between us, that if she wasn't around, we could be together. Really together. Did he explicitly ask you to harm her? Vanessa hesitated. The courtroom held its breath. Not in those words, but he gave me her schedule, where she'd be, when. He said someone needed to do something, that he couldn't live like this anymore. The courtroom erupted. The judge called for order. Derek's face was white. Rachel felt nothing. She already knew. The testimony just confirmed it. The defense cross-examined, tried to discredit her. She's lying for a plea deal. She's obsessed. She acted alone. Vanessa didn't crack. I loved him. I did what I thought he wanted, but I won't go down alone for his cowardice. The trial lasted 3 days. The jury deliberated for 6 hours. Verdict, guilty on all counts. Attempted murder, vehicular assault, filing false reports, assault in a hospital. Sentencing was immediate, 15 years. Vanessa didn't react, just stared at Derek as she was led away. Outside the courthouse, reporters swarmed. Rachel shielded her belly. Charles ran interference. No comment, no comment. Give the lady space. In the car, Rachel finally exhaled. It's over. Derek's trial starts in 2 months. Will I have to testify again? Probably, but you've already told your truth. The second time is easier. Rachel looked down at her belly, the baby moving, active, strong. None of this touches you, I promise. None of his poison touches you. Rachel didn't celebrate the conviction. She simply exhaled. Justice wasn't victory, it was just closure. Rachel went into labor at 37 weeks, 3 a.m. Her water broke while she was sleeping, soaked the sheets. Contractions started immediately. She called Charles first, then Nina, then the hospital. Stay calm, time the contractions. We'll send an ambulance. I don't need an ambulance. My father is coming. Charles arrived in 15 minutes, must have broken every speed limit. Found Rachel in the bathroom, breathing through contractions. Baby girl, let's go. I'm scared. I know, I've got you. The drive to the hospital blurred. Contractions every 3 minutes. Rachel counting ceiling lights in the hospital hallway. Wheelchair, elevator, labor and delivery floor. Dr. Garrett was already there. I told him to call me when you came in. You didn't have to. Yes, I did. You're my patient, my responsibility. We're doing this together. 18 hours of labor, the longest 18 hours of Rachel's life. Nina arrived at hour 4, brought ice chips, held Rachel's hand, didn't leave. Charles paced, made calls, pretended he wasn't terrified. Rachel could see through him. He'd never looked more scared. Hour 8, Rachel broke. I can't do this. I can't. It hurts too much. I want an epidural. I want a C-section. I want this to stop. Dr. Garrett checked her. You're at 7 centimeters. You're in transition. This is the hardest part. But you're almost there. I can't. Yes, you can. Charles knelt beside the bed, took her hand. You are the strongest person I know. You survived Derek. You survived Vanessa. Ashahid, you survived an assassination attempt. You can survive this. That was different. No, it wasn't. This is just another thing you're fighting through, and you always win. Always. Hour 12, the urge to push. Dr. Garrett positioned, nurses ready, Nina on one side, Charles on the other. On the next contraction, I need you to push, hard as you can, 10 seconds. Rachel pushed, screamed, felt like she was splitting in half. Good, again, breathe, push, again and again and again. Hour 18, one final push. Then a cry, sharp, angry, alive. It's a girl. Rachel already knew, but hearing it made it real. They placed Olivia on her chest. Tiny, perfect, 8 pounds, full head of dark hair, screaming her arrival into the world. Rachel touched her daughter's face, counted her fingers, her toes. Everything perfect, everything intact. Hi, baby girl. Hi, Olivia. I'm your mom. I've been waiting for you. Olivia stopped crying, looked at Rachel, eyes wide, like she knew. We made it, both of us. We're here, we're safe, and I promise you, I promise, no one will ever hurt you the way they tried to hurt me. You're going to grow up knowing your worth, knowing your strength, knowing you don't need anyone's permission to take up space. Charles was crying, Nina was crying, Dr. Garrett was smiling. She's perfect. She's everything. That first night, Rachel held Olivia in the hospital room. Everyone had gone home, just the two of them, mother and daughter. Your father isn't here. He's in jail. He made terrible choices, and he's paying for them. But you, Rachel kissed Olivia's forehead. You're innocent, pure. You get to start fresh. No damage, no trauma, just possibility. Olivia made a small noise. Content. I'm going to mess up. I'm going to make mistakes. But I promise I'll always show up, always tell you the truth, always believe you when you say something is wrong. I promise you'll always have a voice, always have value, always have me. The sun rose through the hospital window, pink and gold, a new day, a new life. Rachel took a photo, her and Olivia, both exhausted, both beautiful, both survivors. She posted it with one caption, New beginnings. 6 months, half a year. Olivia could sit up now, laughed, reached for things, had opinions about everything. Rachel was different too, stronger, clearer, still tired, always tired, but it was a different tired, earned tired, purpose tired. 3 a.m. feeding. Rachel rocked Olivia in the nursery, the mural on the wall, the girl climbing the mountain. Olivia stared at it, fascinated. That's you someday. Climbing, conquering, fearless. Olivia grabbed Rachel's finger, squeezed, her grip surprisingly strong. You have good hands, strong hands. You'll need them. The house was different now, full of life, baby gear everywhere, bouncer in the living room, playmat in the den, bottles drying in the kitchen. Rachel's art studio was back, corner of the guest room, easel, paints, canvas. She worked during naps, 15 minutes here, 20 minutes there, creating. Her gallery show was successful. More galleries wanted her work, museums, collectors. Rachel's trauma had value in the art world. She was uncomfortable with that, but she needed the money, needed the independence. So she painted, sold, created. Derek's trial had ended, guilty of conspiracy to endanger, criminal negligence, 3 counts of reckless endangerment, sentence 5 years, eligible for parole in 3. Rachel watched him led away in handcuffs. She felt nothing. He was just a man who made terrible choices, a stranger who used to be her husband, irrelevant now. The divorce was finalized when Olivia was 2 months old. Rachel took her maiden name back, Bennett. Olivia would have it too, only Bennett. Derek's visitation rights were supervised. Once a month, he rarely used them. The rejection from his daughter, the reminder of everything he lost. It was too much. Rachel didn't care. Olivia didn't need a father who only showed up when convenient. She needed people who chose her, every day, without question. First time taking Olivia outside alone. 6 weeks old, Rachel terrified, stroller, diaper bag packed with everything. Walk around the block. She made it to the corner before panicking. What if Olivia needed something? What if she was hungry? What if someone tried something? Deep breath, keep walking. You can do this. She did. They did. 1 block became 2. 2 became 10. Soon they were walking daily. Rain or shine. Rachel and Olivia, finding their rhythm, running into an old friend from college. Amy, hadn't seen her in years. Rachel, oh my God, I heard about everything. How are you? Rachel knew what she meant, the accident. The trial, Derek, everything. I'm good. We're good. Amy looked at Olivia. She's beautiful. Congratulations. Thank you. And Derek, I heard he was sentenced? 5 years, but we're divorced. It's just me and Olivia now. Amy's face shifted. Pity, judgment, something. That must be so hard, doing it alone. Rachel straightened. I'm not alone. I have family, friends, support. And honestly, it's easier than doing it with someone who didn't want to be there. Amy stammered, changed the subject, made excuses to leave. Rachel pushed the stroller home, proud. She stood up for herself, for her choice, for her life. I spent so long being Derek's wife that I forgot how to be Rachel. Now I'm remembering, slowly, painfully, but I'm remembering who I was before him and becoming who I was always meant to be. At 2 a.m., unable to sleep, Rachel did what she always did when overwhelmed. She cleaned the kitchen drawers, organized by frequency of use, measuring cups by size. Tupperware lids matched perfectly. Control where she could find it, order from chaos. Her mother had done the same thing. Maybe all women did when their worlds fell apart. Create one small, perfect thing. Nina found her at 3 a.m. What are you doing? Creating order. The drawers were fine, but now they're perfect. Nina helped. They organized the entire kitchen. By the time the sun rose, everything had a place. Feel better? Actually, yes. Rachel started painting again. Small pieces, Olivia's face, her hands, the nursery, the moment she chose herself, the moment she chose Olivia. A local gallery reached out. They heard about her story, wanted to feature her work. Trauma and Transformation series. Rachel said yes. She painted her truth, the accident, the hospital, the nursery, the moment she chose herself, the moment she chose Olivia. The pieces sold out opening night. A reporter asked, what inspired this work? Rachel looked at Charles holding Olivia, her daughter, her reason. I inspired it. I almost died, almost let someone erase me. These paintings are proof I'm still here, still creating. still becoming who I was always meant to be. A woman approached her at the park, late 30s, kind eyes, baby in a stroller. I saw your gallery show, the Trauma and Transformation series. It was powerful. Thank you. I went through something similar, different details, same damage. My husband wasn't trying to kill me, but he was killing who I was. Slowly, for years. Did you leave? Eventually. It took me too long, but I did. I'm Sarah, by the way. Rachel. I know, I've followed your story. I hope that's not weird. It's just, you gave me courage. To leave. To fight for custody. To rebuild, so thank you. Rachel didn't know what to say. Her tragedy helped someone. Her survival inspired someone. You're welcome, I think. I don't feel inspiring most days. You don't have to feel it to be it. They exchanged numbers. Made plans for a play date. Rachel drove home with something unfamiliar blooming in her chest. Hope. Rachel did what she always did when life overwhelmed her. She made lists, but this time they weren't about surviving. They were about thriving. Dreams, goals, possibilities. Rachel's list. Year 1. Keep Olivia healthy and happy. 2. Sell 10 more paintings. Move past survival into living. Make at least one new friend. Travel somewhere with Olivia. Buy something impractical just because. 7. Laugh more than I cry. 8. Remember I'm enough. She taped it to the refrigerator. Visible, concrete. Proof that she wasn't just surviving anymore. She was living. Olivia's first birthday approached. Rachel planned a party. Small. Family. Nina, Margaret, Dr. Garrett, Pero and her daughter, Charles and his new partner, Eleanor, a quiet, kind woman who treated Rachel with respect. The house was decorated, pink balloons, cake, presents. Olivia in a tiny dress Margaret picked out. Rachel watched it all. This life she built from rubble. This family she created from fragments. A year ago, she was in the ICU, 32 weeks pregnant, afraid, broken, unsure if she'd survive. Now she was here. Strong, whole, clear. Derek didn't come to the party. His visitation rights were reduced further at his request. Once every 3 months now. Supervised. He couldn't handle it. The rejection from his daughter. The reminder of everything he lost. Rachel didn't care. Olivia didn't need a father who only showed up when it was convenient. She needed people who chose her. Every day, without question. After the party, after everyone left, Rachel put Olivia to bed, read her favorite book, kissed her forehead. Happy birthday, baby girl. You made it a year. We made it a year. Olivia yawned, closed her eyes, trusting completely that she was safe. Rachel stood in the doorway, watched her daughter sleep, marveled at this tiny human who saved her life by giving her a reason to fight. The doorbell rang, 9 p.m. Charles at the door, forgot Eleanor's purse. Come in. He retrieved it, didn't leave immediately. You did good today. The party, Olivia, everything. I'm trying. You're succeeding. You know that, right? You're not just surviving anymore. You're thriving. Rachel considered this, thriving. Is that what this is? I have good days and bad days. Everyone does. But you're here, you're building, you're creating. You're raising an incredible daughter. That's thriving. After he left, Rachel walked through the house, her house. No ghosts now, no memories of Derek. Just her life, her space, her future. She stopped at the coffee shop, the one where she confronted Derek, where she reclaimed her voice. Same table, same coffee, but everything was different. Olivia in a high chair, eating puffs, making a mess, happy. Rachel sipped her coffee, looked around. This place used to mean something. Pain, betrayal, the end of her marriage. Now it was just a place where coffee happens. She'd reclaimed it, not through anger, not through revenge, just by existing here, living, moving forward. A barista approached, young, friendly. Excuse me, are you Rachel Bennett, the artist? Yes. I saw your show. It changed my life. Seriously. I was in a bad relationship. Your paintings gave me courage to leave. Rachel smiled. I'm glad. That's all any of us can do. Tell our truth. Hope it helps someone else tell theirs. Derek's lawyer called. He wanted to discuss parental rights. Mr. Morrison would like to voluntarily relinquish his parental rights. He feels it's in Olivia's best interest. Rachel sat, processing. What does that mean? It means he's signing away all legal rights and responsibilities. No custody, no visitation, no financial obligation. You would have sole custody. He would have no legal claim to Olivia. Why? He says he can't be the father she needs, that she deserves better. Rachel should feel something. Anger? Vindication? Relief? She felt sad for Olivia, for the father she wouldn't have, for Derek, for the man who destroyed everything good in his life. I need to think about it. She called Susan Mitchell. What do you think? I think it's the best outcome. He's out of your life completely. No custody battles, no future manipulation. Clean break. But Olivia will have you. Charles, Nina, Margaret, a village. She won't lack for love or support. And someday when she's old enough, you can tell her the truth. That her father wasn't capable of being present. That his absence wasn't about her, it was about him. Rachel agreed, signed the papers. Derek relinquished his rights. It was over. Completely over. Dr. Garrett invited Rachel to coffee, not as doctor and patient, as friends. How are you, really? Rachel considered the question. Honest answer. I'm okay. Actually okay. Not fake okay. I have hard days, days where I'm exhausted, days where I miss having a partner. But I don't miss him. I don't miss the lies. I don't miss who I was with him. That's growth. Is it? Sometimes I feel like I'm just pretending to have my life together. Everyone is. Nobody knows what they're doing. We're all just hoping we don't completely mess up our kids. Rachel laughed. Real laugh. Full. Free. I spent so long thinking my story was about a woman whose husband betrayed her, but it's not. It's about a woman who saved herself and her daughter. It's about transformation, not revenge. They talked for hours about motherhood, about medicine, about life after trauma, about hope. Rachel drove home with something solid in her chest, peace. She finally understood that the prison door had been unlocked all along. She'd been her own warden, choosing fear over freedom, comfort over truth, the known hell over the unknown heaven. The key was always in her hand. She just had to be brave enough to use it. Olivia at 14 months, walking, talking, becoming her own person. Rachel in the nursery at dawn, Olivia sleeping. Charles knocked softly. Wanted to check on my girls. We're good, really good. He sat in the rocking chair. Your mother would be proud of you. Would she? You survived something that would have destroyed most people. You protected your daughter. You rebuilt your life. You remembered your worth. That's everything she hoped you'd learn. Rachel looked down at Olivia, her daughter, her strength, her reason. I used to think my story was about a woman whose husband betrayed her, but it's not. It's about a woman who saved herself and her daughter. It's about transformation, not revenge. Charles stood to leave, paused. What will you tell Olivia about her father? Rachel considered this. The truth, always the truth. I'll tell her that her father was human, flawed, that he made terrible choices, but that she came from love, even if that love wasn't strong enough to survive. I'll tell her that she is not defined by his failures, that she is her own person, strong, valuable, enough, always enough. She'll believe you, because you'll show her. After Charles left, Rachel carried Olivia to the window. The city waking up, pink dawn light, new day, new life. She whispered to her sleeping daughter, your mom was lost for a while. She stayed in a relationship that hurt her. She ignored her instincts. She made herself small. But then something happened. Someone tried to erase us. And instead of disappearing, we became visible. We became real. We became free. Your grandfather says your grandmother would be proud. I think she'd just say she knew this was always in me. The strength, the courage, the ability to choose myself, to choose us. So here's what I know now, baby girl. The only prison that holds us is the one we build ourselves. The door was always unlocked. I just had to be brave enough to walk through it. And I did. We did. Together. Olivia stirred, opened her eyes. Perfect blue. Looked at her mother like she understood everything. Rachel laughed, cried, held her daughter closer. Here's to new beginnings, to second chance, to the life we're going to build from scratch. It won't be perfect, but it will be ours, and that's enough. We're enough. You and me against the world, Olivia rose. We're going to be just fine. Rachel standing at the window, Olivia in her arms, pink dawn light illuminating them both. The city spread before them, infinite possibility. She took a photo, sent it to Nina with one word, ready. Nina responded immediately, you always were. Rachel set the phone down, kissed Olivia's head, looked out at the city, her life, her future. She wasn't just surviving anymore. She was living, and that was everything. 2 years after the accident, Rachel 35. Olivia 2 years old, running, talking in full sentences, asking questions about everything. Rachel's art career flourished. 3 galleries represented her work, a museum retrospective scheduled for next year. She'd found her voice through pain, and people resonated with it. The house felt like home now, every corner reclaimed, every room filled with new memories. Olivia's toys, Rachel's paintings, Charles's weekly Sunday dinners. Nina got engaged to a kind man who made her laugh. The wedding was planned for spring. Olivia would be the flower girl. Sarah became a real friend. Weekly play dates, coffee, the kind of friendship built on shared survival. They understood each other without explanation. Margaret retired, spent her days gardening and spoiling Olivia. Charles called her every day. They'd built something in the aftermath, something real. Dr. Garrett still checked in, monthly coffee dates. She'd become more than a doctor, a mentor, a friend. Living proof that you could witness trauma and still choose hope. Rachel ran into an old colleague from her art curator days. Before Derek. Before everything. Rachel, I heard you were painting now. Your work is incredible. Thank you. Are you happy? The question surprised her. Simple. Direct. Yes, I actually am. And she meant it. Olivia asked about her father for the first time at 2 years old. Why don't I have a daddy? Rachel had prepared for this, practiced the words, but her heart still broke a little. You did have a daddy, but he made some choices that hurt people, and he decided he couldn't be the daddy you needed. So it's just you and me. Is that okay? Olivia considered this. And Grandpa, and Nina, and Margaret. Yes, and them. That's a lot of people. It is. You're very loved. Okay. Olivia went back to playing. Simple as that. Children were resilient in ways adults forgot to be. Rachel's therapy continued. Weekly, Dr. Winters helped her process, heal, grow. Rachel learned that healing wasn't linear. Some days she was fine. Some days the memories hit like fresh wounds. Both were valid. She learned to sit with discomfort, to feel her feelings without judgment, to understand that survival wasn't the end goal, living was. Rachel started dating, carefully, slowly, a few coffee dates, nothing serious. She wasn't ready for serious. Maybe she'd never be ready, and that was okay too. One man asked about Olivia's father. Rachel told the truth. The short version, car accident, investigation, divorce. She watched his face, waited for judgment. That sounds terrifying. It was. You're really brave. I didn't feel brave. I just did what I had to do. That's what brave is. They dated for 3 months. It didn't work out. But Rachel learned something. She could trust again. Not fully, not yet. But the door wasn't completely closed. Olivia's second birthday party was bigger. More friends. Kids from the park. Sarah's daughter. Nina's fiancé. Charles and Eleanor. The house filled with laughter. Rachel watched Olivia blow out her candles. Make a wish. The whole room singing. 2 years ago, Rachel wasn't sure they'd make it. Now look at them. That night, putting Olivia to bed, Rachel read her favorite book. Again, for the 1000th time. Mommy, are you happy? Yes, baby, I'm very happy. Me too. What makes you happy? You and cake and dinosaurs. Rachel laughed. Those are all good things. Love you, Mommy. Love you more, Olivia rose. After Olivia fell asleep, Rachel sat in the nursery. The mural still there. The girl climbing the mountain. Olivia would be that girl someday. Strong, fearless, unbroken. Rachel thought about everything that led here. The accident, the betrayal, the trial, the divorce, the terror, the rage, the grief, the slow rebuilding. She wouldn't wish it on anyone, but she couldn't regret it either, because it brought her here. To this moment, this peace, this life. Charles knocked on the doorframe. You okay? Yeah, just thinking. About? About how I used to think happiness was finding the right person, building the right life, having the right things. But happiness is simpler than that. It's just being okay with who you are, where you are, right now. Are you okay with who you are? Rachel smiled. Most days. Some days I'm still angry at who I was, how long I stayed, what I accepted. But I'm learning to forgive her. She did the best she could with what she knew. That's all any of us can do. They sat in comfortable silence, the house quiet, Olivia sleeping, everything peaceful. Derek wrote me a letter, Charles said finally. Rachel looked up. What? From prison. He wanted me to give it to you. I told him no, but I wanted you to know it exists, in case you ever want it. What does it say? I don't know. I didn't read it. It's yours, your choice, no pressure either way. Rachel thought about it. A letter from Derek, probably filled with excuses, apologies, maybe genuine remorse, maybe more manipulation. I don't want it. Not now. Maybe not ever. Throw it away. Charles nodded. Consider it done. Do you think that makes me cold? I think that makes you healthy. You don't owe him forgiveness. You don't owe him closure. You only owe yourself peace. After Charles left, Rachel walked through the house one more time. Her nightly ritual, checking locks, turning off lights, making sure everything was safe. She stopped in the living room, looked at the photos on the mantle. Olivia at 1 month, 6 months, 1 year, 2 years. Rachel and Olivia at the park, at the beach, at home. No photos of Derek? She'd remove them all, not out of spite, out of truth. He wasn't part of this story anymore. This was her story, hers and Olivia's. She made herself a cup of tea, sat on the couch, opened her sketchbook, drew without thinking, just letting her hand move. The image that emerged, a woman and a small child, walking away from darkness, toward light, simple, true. Rachel's phone buzzes, a text from Nina. Hey, just wanted to say I'm proud of you. I know that's random, but I was thinking about where you were 2 years ago and where you are now. You're a warrior. Rachel smiled, texted back. Not a warrior, just a mom trying her best. Same thing. Maybe it was. Maybe survival and motherhood and choosing yourself every day was its own kind of warrior work. Rachel finished her tea, turned off the lights, climbed the stairs, checked on Olivia one more time. Still sleeping, still safe, still perfect. In her own room, Rachel got ready for bed, looked at herself in the mirror, really looked. 35 years old, tired, scarred, stronger than she'd ever been. You did good, she told her reflection. You're doing good. She believed it this time. Sleep came easily. No nightmares, no anxiety, just rest. Outside, the city continued. Lives being lived, choices being made. Some good, some terrible. The world kept turning. Inside, Rachel and Olivia slept. Safe. Together. Free. The next morning, Rachel woke to Olivia climbing into bed. Mommy, it's morning time. Yes, it is, baby. What are we doing today? Rachel pulled her close. Whatever we want. That's the best part. We get to choose. Can we go to the park? Absolutely. They got dressed, had breakfast, packed a bag, walked to the park hand in hand. Olivia ran to the swings. Push me, Mommy, push me high. Rachel pushed, watched Olivia soar, heard her laughter, joyful, free. This is it, Rachel thought. This is happiness. Not some grand achievement, not some perfect life. Just this. Ordinary moments, chosen moments, present moments. A woman on the next bench smiled at her. She's beautiful. Thank you. How old? 2, just turned. That's a fun age. Hard, but fun. It is. They chatted briefly. The universal language of mothers. Sleep schedules, favorite foods, tantrum strategies. Simple, easy, normal. Rachel realized she'd spent so long feeling broken that she forgot what normal felt like. This was normal. This was good. After the park, they went to the library. Olivia picked out 3 books, all about dinosaurs. She was obsessed lately. Then lunch at the small cafe near their house. Grilled cheese for Olivia, salad for Rachel. They ate slowly, no rush, nowhere to be. Mommy, do you like dinosaurs? I do now. Because I like them? Exactly. Olivia grinned. You're silly. You make me silly. Walking home, Olivia held Rachel's hand, skipped, hummed, perfectly content. Rachel felt it too. Contentment, not the absence of pain, the presence of peace. At home, Olivia napped. Rachel painted. The studio Margaret helped her set up in the guest room. Proper lighting, proper space, room to create. She was working on a new series, not about trauma this time, about recovery, about joy, about ordinary moments that felt like miracles. Nina stopped by after work, brought dinner, Thai food, their tradition. How was your day? Good, park, library, normal stuff. Normal is underrated. It really is. They ate, talked about the wedding, about Nina's work, about nothing important, everything important. After Nina left, Rachel gave Olivia a bath, read her the dinosaur books, all 3, twice. One more time? Not tonight, baby. We'll read them tomorrow. Promise? Well, promise, Rachel sang to her, the lullaby her mother used to sing, the one she thought she'd forgotten. But it came back. Muscle memory, love memory. Olivia's eyes got heavy, closed, her breathing deep and even. Rachel stayed a few extra minutes, just watching, marveling. This tiny human, this enormous love. Downstairs, Charles had let himself in. He had a key, used it for emergencies and Sunday dinners. She asleep? Finally, 3 books, twice. Dinosaurs? How did you know? She told me all about them last week for an hour. I now know more about velociraptors than I ever thought possible. They laughed, shared a pot of tea, talked about Charles's work, Eleanor, the future. I'm thinking about selling the company, Charles said suddenly. Rachel looked up. Really? I'm 64. I've been doing this 40 years. Maybe it's time for something different. Like what? I don't know, travel, spend time with my granddaughter, figure out who I am without the business. That sounds scary. Terrifying, but also exciting. I watched you rebuild your entire life. Start from scratch. It inspired me. Maybe it's my turn. You'd be good at whatever you choose. Thanks, baby girl. After he left, Rachel sat alone, the house quiet, the city lights twinkling outside. She thought about the girl she was at 25, falling in love with Derek, building a life so certain of everything. She thought about the woman she was at 33, broken, betrayed, fighting to survive, and now 35, still standing, still growing, still becoming. She'd lost so much. Her marriage, her innocence, her certainty about how life works. But she'd gained more, her strength, her voice, her daughter, herself. The trade wasn't fair. She wouldn't have chosen it, but she couldn't regret it either. Rachel opened her laptop, started writing. She'd been thinking about it for months. Her story, not for publication, for Olivia, for when she was older, for when she had questions. She wrote until midnight, the words pouring out. The truth, all of it, the good, the bad, the transformation. She saved it, backed it up. Someday Olivia would read it. Someday she'd understand. That night, Rachel dreamed, not of the accident, not of Derek, not of fear. She dreamed of flying, of mountains, of her daughter's laughter, of light breaking through darkness. She woke feeling rested, hopeful, ready. Olivia burst into her room at 7 a.m. Mommy, it is dinosaur day. Every day is dinosaur day lately, because dinosaurs are the best. They really are. Another day, another chance, another beginning. Rachel got up, started coffee, made breakfast, listened to Olivia's dinosaur facts, smiled at her enthusiasm. This was her life now, simple, hard, beautiful, real. She wouldn't trade it for anything, not even for the fairy tale she thought she had before, because that was a lie. This was truth, and truth she'd learned was always better than the prettiest lie. Rachel looked at Olivia, her daughter, her reason, her miracle. I love you, Olivia Rose. Love you more, Mommy. Impossible. Nuh-uh. I love you to the moon. I love you to the stars. I love you to the dinosaurs. Rachel laughed, pulled her close, held her tight. Then I guess we both win. Outside, the sun rose. A new day, full of possibility, full of choice, full of life. Rachel was ready for all of it. She wasn't just surviving anymore. She was thriving. And that was everything. Rachel and Olivia are thriving now, building a life that's real. That's true. That's theirs. But here's what I want to know. What would you have done in Rachel's position? When did you know you had to leave? Or are you still trying to figure that out? Drop a comment below. Your story matters. Your voice matters. Someone out there needs to hear it. And if Rachel's journey spoke to you, if you saw yourself in her struggle, in her strength, in her transformation, hit that like button. Share this story with someone who needs to hear it, someone who's questioning their instincts, someone who's staying because they're scared to leave. Subscribe to this channel for more stories about real people, real struggles, real survival, real transformation, because your story isn't over yet. Just like Rachel's wasn't. You're still writing it, one choice at a time, one brave decision at a time. Thanks for listening. I'll see you in the next story. Remember, you're enough. You've always been enough, exactly as you are.